Episode 5, Sister. Hotel room, noon. Before I met your mom, it could have been the dancer in the green top in Ada, Oklahoma. Or after your mom with a fake magic performer in Vegas. I know I had some wild parties back in my younger days, so I put some rappers to shame, but you do not have a brother. Unless I messed up somehow. They had rented a room for her father to stay until things calmed down. She brought up the last of his bags and wiped the sweat off her face. His luggage was mostly hunting and fishing books. Idris sat at the desk with her arms crossed, her brow lowered. She hated having any sort of conversation with her father when it came to the past. Anything post her assumed death was fine. Asking anything about her mother always felt like being branded. "You are not inspiring confidence," Idris said to her father. She did not like that Mr. Whitaker had finished a second cup of coffee at the hotel already and was already filling the pot in the bathroom sink to make more. But after her mentor, Looney, told her about his behavior when she was ill as a kid, the coffee addiction was a vast improvement. I haven't always been perfect, or good, or even halfway decent, actually. I'll look up some of the women I've dated and I'll double check. I've really been a bad father. Are you sure this vampire fella Uncree wasn't telling you a lie to get a rise out of you? No. Idris headed towards the door. Not without he said it. This is something personal. I need to find out why. Stay in the room and don't tell anyone that you're here. This vampire is dangerous. I have to go talk to the sheriff about the shop damage. Dad, most importantly, don't let any cats in here. Let me help you capture this thing. If we can get that sucker to steel cage, there's no escape. I need to help you. I owe you. I'll do anything to make up for abandoning you, he said. I'm not risking you getting hurt. No cats. Police station. Interrogation room. What's what I hate about this magic stuff? I can't tell what's real make-believe anymore, the detective said, lifting up his sagging pants. So we have your statement, and we will look into these, what do you call them? Feeding houses? Have you heard from the shop owner since your tea shop building went to Ghostbusters? I haven't heard from Braylynn in 5 years, Idris said. No one knows how to get a hold of her. She told Looney that she was off fighting monsters or something. Are you going to do something? I told you I'd call animal control. They'll be on the lookout for a white cat stealing body parts. Now, no matter what you do, promise me you aren't going to take things into your own hands. Shop loss is big, but it can be rebuilt. You can't. Idris sighed. I can, actually. I'm immortal, technically. You can't search your big brother is watching computer to see if there's any family members of mine out there? Well, that's not a real thing, the detective said. Unless you or whatever family member it is has a record, I ain't gonna show in her system. I can't help you. That's not what you want to hear, I get it. But that's Whispers Bay PD for you. Idris crossed her arms. We tried to take every call seriously, but you're accusing Sunset Baptist Church and Spinner's Pizza as being part of a secret conspiracy to take over the city. And that's the same kind of story we got from folks who wander out on the highway at 2 o'clock in the morning to work on their dance moves. What you gave us is no proof of anything at all. I can't keep listening to you rambling. I'm out of here. If I'm free to go. I just finished her cup of coffee. She didn't really want anything to drink, but she always wondered if they would actually bring you something if you asked for it. In a strange way, she found that act satisfying. I've spent a lot of years on the force, and let me tell you, monsters aren't born. They're created. Oh, your daddy, I said hi. We miss him at the bar, but we ain't never want to see him again. Don't forget your railroad spike. The man tipped his hat to her. Sure, she said. I'll be needing it. As she exited the station, her thoughts dwelled on her father. She had hardly known him at that point, even though she lived with him, so hearing the detective's reactions started something in her. If someone in a small town suspected something as juicy as someone having a secret child, it would be discovered. Part of her wanted to go to check family records, but if the detective seemed to doubt it, it seemed unlikely. But where did this leave Idris? Barry had to be the answer, but how did Idris factor into his experiments? Why was she dragged into any of this? She wished she were a child again, before the yo-yo wizards and the knowledge of the magic world. The life she longed for, she could no longer live. She opened the address book she had recovered from the feeding house and placed her finger under the second location. She headed for her truck. Buffy River RV Park. The abandoned cars and trains sat near the wide river's edge. Idris jumped from the top of a tree, landing on a forest floor covered in pine needles. She watched the massive numbers of vampire clones and fan clubbers go in and out of the encampment. Their little village stretched throughout the mountains. This was more than she had seen even at her Make-A-Wish Portland Trailblazers game. Most of the people seemed to live there, some in tents, others in the abandoned rail cars. I just spotted one of them that was covered in morning glories. She couldn't see past all the flowers growing from within. Uncree recreated the secret garden room from Deck Nine's mansion, she thought. I'm never going to get him through all these people. If I have to fight everyone myself, I don't stand a chance. This is impossible. She spotted smoke rising from pots and pans stacked on heated stones, close to an enormous bonfire. There, she could see old man Pastor Branson handing out bowls of soup to everyone. Of course, he had a stack of Bibles and flyers nearby. Idris felt something jabbed into her back. She raised her hands. Don't move unless you want to become a pineapple, the voice said. The woman behind her took the spike off its clip and removed it from her person. Soon she was facing a tree as the person patted her down. Actually, I'd rather be the pineapple, Idris deadpanned. What did you think you were doing, hunting Dracula? You're lucky all those tinfoil hat-wearing people didn't see you, the person said. At first, the voice seemed familiar to Idris, but she couldn't place this to any memory of anyone. Dracula would be much easier, Idris scoffed. Stop frisking me, please. The ring around your wrist. Those are hand charm marks, aren't they? Do you have something to do with my shop blowing up? Idris turned around. A woman with shoulder-length dark hair and a top hat examined the weapon. She recognized her from cleaning the Not a Magic Tea Shop basement print lab. The building had no basement, of course. It was the portal that led there, but everyone understood it easier that way. Braylynn, what are you doing back in the bay? That is a name I have not heard in an age. Now, the people call me the Riraka. No, Idris said. I am seriously not calling you that. Braylynn, or Riraka rather, crossed her arms. Don't tell me who I am. Maybe I have my cool nickname. Who are you? Why are you packing heat? I work for you, the Riraka. The shop has more than one worker? I thought Looney did everything, her and that little kid. Oh, you are that little kid. Oh my god, I'm getting old. Tell me who you are next time. I am not a happy Wookiee right now. Truck, parked at Beach Access 2. See, you have to belittle the kitty a lot and say something like, my papa. That's the way to top off the kettle. The two sat in a truck filled with different rocks and trinkets gathered from across the country, like a dream catcher on the dashboard or bottles of sand art in the back seat. A salty breeze flew in through the cracked windows. Uncree is too quick, and has too many followers to fight, Idris said. Braylynn stuck out her tongue while she flipped through a CD case. She picked one and inserted it into the truck's player. French pop music played through 10 can-sounding speakers. Then you're gonna have to find a way to trap him next time using cat form. Because what we got here is a vampire with hive tendencies. If this spreads to anywhere but the coast, there's no stopping it until it gets too big to control. Until it collapses, bringing back all the traditions and ways of life that were snuffed out. That's always how it works if you've ever read a history book. I mostly read your herbology notes from working at the tea shop, I just said. Your handwriting sucks, by the way. We don't have time for that. How do we kill this monster? I haven't been close enough to try it. I don't think those spikes would do it. I found some flowers that looked like skulls of berries, and a garden portaled away. Could that be something? Braylynn slammed her fist on the console, ejecting the CD. Her mouth dropped, and she let out a nervous cough. Found skull flowers. Not thunder brew, but real ones that you can't water. Because the water vanishes the moment they touch the thorny stems, grown with mushrooms, and you didn't tell me? Where is it? Why are you getting excited? They were in the apartment when the explosion happened. Braylynn hit the horn and cursed. She got out of the truck and walked towards the shore. Idris followed after her. But I say, what are you doing? She called out to Braylynn. To look for the boot, the one soul who was trapped by a health insurance company owner, said, walking faster in the sand. Because the only chance we had of breaking your yo-yo bond and getting my friend back went up in flames because you're an idiot. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you protect them? There was an entire section in the employee handbook about this. I put them in the safest place I could. Never once have your notes mentioned anything about those flowers. Because it's dark magic, stupid. Some magic we Orgordians don't talk about, Braylynn said. The council might be all chill now, but they still aren't cool with that sort of thing. First, do you know how much somebody would pay for one of those flowers? Everyone thought those species were extinct since the 12th century. Second, the accounts we have say that they are hard as hell to grow, and we're talking like Master Gardener level sort of stuff here. And lastly, Braylynn paused. Looney didn't want you knowing about certain things. She thought it'd bring you trouble. Trouble found me anyway, Idris said. That confirms Barry is trying to find a way to break his bond, Braylynn said. What was he trying to do with it? That kind of magic has been believed dead for hundreds of years. No, I would recommend a Grobobolo-Popkus blessed item, not the carrot wand. Never use the carrot wand. Only true magic users should use that. Remember, you don't always see every spell consequence right away. Braylynn looked away. Looney using it once could have caused a lot of damage. Here's a wrist charm. Don't use this unless you mean it. It's designed to literally suck souls from people. It's awesome, but try a stake first. Railroad Spike is a good choice. Untreated vampires can break wooden stakes in a fight. Braylynn, from one of her many pockets, handed her a red wooden wrist charm. At first, Idris did not accept it. I don't know if I can do this, Idris said. I'm not this person. Idris watched Braylynn pick up a smooth rock and fling it into the ocean. The worst monster I ever faced made me feel like that. It made me question everything I was. When I figured out I was in trouble, it was too late. No one understood the seriousness of the situation. How did you defeat the beast? I just asked. I broke up with the loser, Braylynn said. But walking away from a monster is never easy. If me has kept you around all these years, and Taylor gave up everything for you, you are that person. That is your calling. You noble idiot who cost me a lot of money, destroyed one of the most powerful herbs ever, just reminding you of that little thing. Anyways, get the vampire close enough to touch you, and when you are close enough, pull the charm. That's all you need to know. It works with the undead too. Why did you say vampire weird? Idris asked. You haven't figured it out yet, Braylynn said. We can't say what this creature really is. Taylor would have told you the same thing. This isn't a vampire. Barry Dick 9 must have spent some time in the Four Corners exploring some taboo stuff. This uncreated man is some dark magic OP evil thing. Just like my ex. Hotel. Evening. I just gasped at the sight of the open door. In front of the entryway was a can filled with milk. Leading into the room were red paw prints. She ran inside, but tripped over something in front of the door. A metal cage had been placed facing outward. In an attempt to trap the cat, she tried to kick it out of the way, but the cage was heavy. Giving up, she stepped up on it and leapt over. On the hotel's velvet sofa lay her father. His skin was pale, his eyes were closed. 2 fang marks shone bright red on his neck. He had been turned into a sleeper. Idris cursed. The closet door swung open. She turned to a vampire clone of her father, grabbing her by the throat. Her other father screamed in a voice she had never heard before, a raw, desperate cry. He pushed her back onto her sleeping father. The bracelet, Idris thought. She remembered what Braylynn had said would happen when she pulled it off her wrist. Get the vampire close enough to touch you, and when you're close enough, pull the charm. That's all you need to know. It works on the undead too. She, being on her father's legs, wrestled with his vampire clone. The charm was close enough to work on both of them. Whose soul would the bracelet suck out? The life of her father was not a thing she could risk. She knew this, but as the clone mouth got closer to her skin, something had to be done. She prolonged it as long as she could, holding back the undead beast from draining her. But her strength was running out. She felt the clone's fangs on her warm neck. A deafening snap rang out. The clone above her became limp and dropped to the floor. For a moment, she caught her breath before turning to her father. How'll I do this for? She thought. What have I done? What have I become? The TV was turned on to the weather station, and a forecaster squinted at the screen. It's, gonna be raining, I guess. Does that say rain, Carl? I can't read that. Hello, sister. Your father was a delicious snack. She heard a voice say. It came from somewhere inside the hotel room. Frantically, she looked about. The voice sounded small, which led her to believe that the uncreated man was in cat form. All she had to do was find him. Show yourself. Idris shouted as she felt her father's pulse. You'll have to forgive me. I only stopped in for a bite. Idris checked the ceiling, noticing the network of vents in the hotel walls. Why are you calling me sister? She asked. Barry created me from you. Have you not read the journal? How he took your hair at the hospital. Or did that go up in flames as well? Like everything else in your life ever has. Oh, yes, Idris. I know everything about you. 'Cause in a magic sort of way, you are my sister. That's an interesting interpretation. How about hell no? She heard a noise coming from the bathroom. Slowly, she crept and opened the door. The bathroom shower curtain was drawn and the window was open. She pulled back the rose-patterned plastic. From above, she saw something move. There on the shower head, the white cat sat. You found me. Now it's my turn to find you. Count to 100. The cat sprang towards the window. Idris caught him before he could escape. Release me. She wrestled with the beast, knocking over the fold-up table and sending her father's playing cards everywhere. The cat bit her and tried to claw himself free. With one hand, she squeezed as hard as she could to hold him in place, but the other, she reached for the spike. The cat broke free and rocketed out of the hotel. Idris ran after him, but was helpless as he crossed traffic and vanished into the night. She ran back to her father, searching for a pulse. She found none. I am the monster. 101 Main Street. Idris arrived at the smothering ruins of the not-a-magic tea shop. She approached Braylynn, who swept dust into a pan. Where is it? Idris yelled. She searched through the wreckage and ashes, throwing pieces of wood and crumbled brick as she went. She cursed and spit. Her face was red. Calm down, kid. What's wrong? Braylynn said. She did not answer. Her search went on. Braylynn followed her as she rushed pile to pile, looking for something. What? Braylynn said. Cat got your tongue? At this, Idris grabbed both of Braylynn's shoulders, giving her a shake. The cat got my father. The cat got my father, and I'm gonna get him. She threw Braylynn down. That's a great way to treat your boss. Help me clean up so we can rebuild the shop. Then we can track down the vampire. You have to be patient. Idris did not listen. A flash caught her eye. Where the counter had once stood sat a metal box and a pile of burned wood. She blew off the soot and opened the container, revealing a large petrified carrot wand, with mold growing on top of it. You're not supposed to touch that, Braylynn said. Normals using magic is dangerous. You don't understand the responsibility. Idris pointed the carrot at a nearby streetlight and shouted a word as if it were a curse. Blabbergiliosis. A bright beam shot out from the tip of the guar, rocketing towards the wooden pole, snapping the structure in half. The air around the light was pulsating like a subwoofer cranked to 11. The people who were waiting for the store to reopen ran at the sound of the streetlight crashing. Idris began to walk away, but Braylynn stepped in front of her. If you leave here with that weapon, you're fired. You cannot do this. What would Taylor think? This is what we've been fighting against, Barry's magic in the entire world. This is not what we stand for at the Not a Magic Tea Shop. You don't care about the shop at all, Idris said, or else you would have been here. This is the only way. Idris walked away from her and headed towards Sunset Baptist Church.